Is this the best bang for buck car you can buy right now? This is the BMW 440i Gran Coupe, and for me at least, it is damn near perfect for the money. Let's have a ganders then. My name's Tom, and you're watching Paragon Cars. Let's go. So, why is it good bang for buck then? Well, reason one is that it has the legendary B58 inline 6-cylinder engine. It's reliable, tunable, and surprisingly economical. I mean, there's a reason Toyota use an iteration of this engine in the latest Supra. In the 440i, it makes 326 horsepower and 450 Nm of torque. And for the BMW fans among you, you'll notice that's slightly lower than the BMW M140i. But don't worry, a simple remap will take this thing to higher heights. How does a stock one actually perform though? Only one way to find that out. Let's do the 30 to 70 sprint. Scores on the doors, and we managed 4.33 seconds. That is what I'd call rather adequate, don't you think? I suppose the only thing that might stick out a bit is the fact that the Audi S4 Saloon was 0.3 seconds quicker. Thing is though, the tuning capability of this 440i is, well, it's just better than the Audi. So if you do want more speed, then it really is easily attainable. Okay then, the interior. This is where I think BMW were just a bit behind the Audi back in 2018, because even though you have physical controls for everything and a genuinely well-built interior, the Audi S4's interior is just a bit more premium looking, I think. Coming to the back though, you have a good amount of legroom and a fair amount of headroom, which is nice considering it's a coupe body shape. You even get an armrest with pop-out cup holders that stay out the way when not in use. Looking at UVW. Oh, and you get some climate vents for your knees. Where the bang for buckage really adds up though is when you look at the boot, because you get the best of both worlds really. You get that coupe body shape, but you also get a hatchback style tailgate that gives you a nice large opening for chucking in your stuff. You also get a 12-volt socket, shopping hooks. Oh, and you know what? The rear seats don't get stuck on the front seats when you fold them down. Yes, BMW, smashed it. Right, let's see how the bang for buckage adds up when we drive this thing, shall we? Is it really going to be sporty, or have BMW dropped the ball? So, is this the best bang for buck car in 2024? Well, I can tell you right now, it's probably not this one, but that's because it's just got a lot of optional extras. Things like heads-up display and performance exhaust, blah blah blah. It all costs money, unfortunately, but you can get these for around £21,000. And that's when they become a pretty good deal, I think, especially because they're more comfortable, they're more quiet than a BMW M140i, but obviously you've also got more space as well. You know, the M140i is a fundamentally smaller car. The suspension in this as well just feels a lot more complex, a lot more sorted, less bumpy. This car is supposed to have adaptive dampers as well, which I'm not entirely convinced, in all honesty. We'll test it out later on some fast roads, because that will be fundamentally where we see if it's actually got it or not, because then you'll feel the difference. But driving around town, for me at least, I can't really perceive a difference. And usually you can going over speed bumps, but yeah, I don't know basically. But the 440i Gran Coupe around town, I mean, steering feels nice and light, feels sporty like BMW. Seats are nice and low, you can adjust the pitch of the base, you've got an extendable bit for your thighs. Everything's just kind of good, you know, physical controls as well. It is touchscreen, but you know, you've got physical controls. Yeah, it's just a really well thought out vehicle. I wish cars would go back to this kind of simplistic, well built nature. And you look at BMWs now in 2024, fire whoever the hell is designing those things. I mean, okay, like the new BMW M2, I'm kind of warming to a little bit. I still don't think it looks as good as the old one, but things like the new BMW 5 Series, I think this looks nicer, in all honesty. Then parking this thing, again being a high-spec car, we got surround camera as well as a reverse camera and park assist. We got lines telling you where you're going to go. So yeah, I mean, It's an easy car to park, in all honesty. Plenty of steering angle. Lock to lock is just 2 turns in this thing as well, so it feels properly sporty. And being a 4 Series, once you're in a space, you can get out and look, we can get to the first notch without dinging someone else's door. So yeah, it's like the perfect size for London. You got enough space in the back for me, a 5'11" adult, and you can get in car parks that are pretty small. I love the sound of this M Performance exhaust as well, just in the lower part of the rev range, which has this real nice grumble to it. And coming out of junctions, half throttle. Do you need X-Drive? Maybe. I don't know if you noticed there, but we got a little bit of a traction issue, purely because we've got an open diff. So when you're coming out of corners, one wheel lifts a bit, loses grip, and then you kind of get this, the car kind of lurches sideways, which doesn't feel particularly nice, but it does get there. Then things like the gearbox are just like nice and smooth, gets the job done. ZF8 speed is just brilliant, and BMW really know how to program these gearboxes. It just feels smooth, it's not jerky, the changes are nice and seamless in comfort. In sports, they're pretty aggressive. It just does exactly what you want it to do, right? Then in terms of fuel economy, BMW say this will do 41.5 mpg on the combined cycle, so we are going to test that out today, see if they're telling the truth or if they're telling porkies. So let's reset our trip computer. We're going to do a little handling test first and then take us onto the motorway so we get that combined figure. But I know for a fact the B58 is a very economical engine. The only thing that might let this car down is the M Performance body kit this has, because it adds a little bit of drag. But hopefully we can still get a very decent figure. Anyway, let's get ourselves into Sports Plus and have a little taste of the handling, shall we? Alrighty then, in Sports Plus, this will drop a couple of gears. We can then put the gearbox over into Sports mode. This will drop another gear and make the changes nice and aggressive, which is what we want in Sports Plus. Sports Plus mode will also turn the traction control off, but leave the stability control on, so you can have a little bit of fun without killing yourself. In theory, anyway. So, let's put that to the test. To the roundabout, get nice heavy steering, get your foot down, and yeah, you get a little bit of slip at the rear, which is what you want. And oh, it sounds good, doesn't it? Sounds absolutely awesome. It's like noisier, but also quite sophisticated. Me personally, I'd still remove the resonator just because I like a lot of noise. But you know, that's just me. Not everyone wants a proper chavmobile like I do. Anyway, let's go into Eco now. See what kind of MPG we can get on the motorway. Okie dokie. Coming onto the motorway, even in Eco mode, BMW are pretty good at programming their cars so they don't totally remove all the power. Plus, being a B58, you literally just touch the throttle. I mean, look how fast this thing climbs in speed. It's bonkers, isn't it? It's got so much low down torque that you never really need to rev this engine out. And then you realise this is a strangely quiet car. In fact, it's definitely, at least perceivably, quieter than the 4 Series Coupe to me. I don't know if that's, you know, some extra sound deadening or I don't know, but it definitely is a little bit quieter to me. All you can hear is that lovely rumble of the B58. It's so nice. But yeah, get on the motorway, get your cruise control on. Suspension is very well damped. It's actually closer to like an Audi than a sort of super sporty car, I'd say. You don't get any jolts into the cabin. Just wonderful. Right, let's put this in Sports Plus just for a second because I want to see if I can feel any adaptive damperage going on. Actually, yeah, I can. Very, very slight though. Right, let's get back into comfort for a second. Maybe it does have adaptive dampers. It's very hard to tell. But yeah, back to the car itself. Road noise, wind noise, very low. Seats very comfortable. Visibility pretty good, you can see in your blind spot quite well. Wing mirrors are nice and wide. You've got a little curved bit of glass as well, so you can see in your blind spot even more easily. it's just such an easy car to live with. I mean, you could do 12 hours in this thing so easily. Absolutely no problem. But where BMWs really shine are when you get onto a B road. And hopefully this can handle as well as most BMWs do. Coming into this corner, you can feel it's just like every BMW you get into has this really tight, tidy front end. I wish every car had that. Anyway, let's get ourselves onto the motorway now, see if we can get 41.5 mpg. Thing happened, we got stuck in a bit of traffic, but the figure is still going up. We managed 36.8 miles per gallon, and I know for a fact on a longer journey this will easily get over 40. You just have to not be in traffic, basically. On another note though, look at what's in front of us. This is a 2010 Ferrari California. Don't actually see many of those these days. It's one of the rarer Ferraris. Don't know why that is. It was actually one of the cheaper Ferraris when it came out, but also not that fast, even though it was a Ferrari. Strange. Quite interesting though, isn't it, how you could literally make this a stage 2 car and it would probably be quicker than that. Anyway, so we know it's comfortable, it's quiet, and it's got a lot of space. It's got enough room for 4 adults and a big boot, so the bang for buckage there is well and truly banged, if that makes sense. What's missing though, or what's potentially missing, is a little bit of sportiness. Can this really be a sporty car if it's a Gran Coupe? Let's take it to a B road now and put it through its paces. Right, back in Sports Plus, gearbox in manual. Supposedly we got stiffer dampers. We'll find out. Might go back into comfort mode after we've had a little test in Sports Plus, just to see if I can really tell the difference. But the most important thing is to find out whether this is a sporty car or just kind of a car with a big engine that can go quickly. So then, let's get our foot down. So, see what you mean? It lets you have a little bit of fun, but it pulls the reins in if you're having just a little bit too much fun. And the exhaust, is it worth it? I think it has a nice tone to it, but I would definitely get a resonator delete. Sounds very smooth though. And then brakes, yeah, M Sport brakes are very good. Feels not the best, but they do definitely get the job done. Right, let's sound check through here. I mean, for most people that's going to be loud enough, isn't it? It's sophisticated. Only thing is you don't really get any like proper pops and bangs, you just get burbles. Whereas with a resonator delete you get proper like cracks from the exhaust, which I do love. And then come around corners like this, keep your foot planted, and you can feel it start to get properly sideways. So yeah, it's weird, the cabriolet version of the 4 Series Coupe doesn't really let you drift it that much, but I find the Gran Coupe is actually the most leery car out of the bunch. Maybe you've got like, I don't know, a better balance or something, but it's definitely a bit more lively on the rear end, that's for sure. Very naughty. That's weird, it's so fast as well. Thing is, it doesn't feel that fast, but it just gets there so smoothly. Like, this thing will easily do 155 all day long. You know, you could sit in 8th gear and probably get there quite easily. Alright, let's see if we can get any sort of burbles from the exhaust. Go slower. Yeah. They're just not that loud, are they? The handling there, this thing is cracking. It's an absolute machine. Who knew a sort of family wagon thing could handle like this? You know, if I was on a private bit of land, I'd be pressing that button down there and turning the traction control all the way off. But for public roads, Sport Plus is such a good setting because you can be a little bit leery, but you know you're not going to have an accident. I mean, admittedly, you do kind of have to know what you're doing. Like, you do have to correct the steering. You can't just, like, let go of the wheel. But, yeah, it just lets you have a little bit of fun. Oh, so naughty. It's an absolute roundabout machine. In terms of the damping, though, I don't think this has got adaptive dampers. If it does, they're not worth it. But bang for buck wise, it's a good car, really. It's a lot of fun, and I mean, yeah, there is a big grin on my face, and that says all you need to know. But does it fall apart down a smaller B road? Because, you know, that is where you're going to end up having to have your fun most of the time. You don't get big open roads like that, well, anywhere really in the UK, unless you go very far into Wales or very far north. Let's go to a road that is in London and see if we can have some proper fun there as well. Alrighty then, smaller road, what can we do? Crikey, this thing is so quick, man. It's just so progressive. A little bit of wheel spin there. Yeah, suspension's great in this. Much better than a stock 140. Ironically softer, but actually handles better. And the front end is so tidy. Really don't understeer in this. Okay, can we hit 60 before the corner? We're starting a lot further down the road. Oh yes, just hard on the brakes. Oh, it's naughty. It's a naughty car. Yeah, suspension's mega. Maybe they are adaptive. Let's go into comfort for a second. See if there's more body roll. It's so hard to tell. Whatever it is, it frickin' works. This car is awesome. Alright, one last time. This thing I love about the B58 is like you kind of ride the wave of torque, but you can rev it all the way out if you want to. I mean, that is just mega. This handles so well. For a non-M car, this is amazing. What a machine! Never did I think a Gran Coupe would handle this well. If anything, it handles better than the regular Coupe. It just feels kind of better balanced to me. Yeah, this is a wicked car. You got the style, you got the luxury, you got the practicality, you got the fun. I mean, what is not to love about this thing? Seriously. So you've basically got everything in a package that realistically you can get for 25 grand. A very nice one for 25 grand. And I wouldn't worry too much about the mileage on these. I mean, this one's only done just under 22,000 miles, which is nothing. That's barely run in for this engine. These engines will easily do well over 150,000 without issues. I just think this is, yeah, I can't think of another car, really, that does it better than this. in all honesty, my brain right now is going, sell the M140i and get one of these. That's how good this car is. It has a layer of comfort that the 140i doesn't have. I think I've fallen in love with this thing. It is mega. So yeah, if you want a sporty car that's fun, that does good fuel economy, handles well, and has enough space for 4 actual adults, and isn't necessarily going to break the bank, it's this. For me personally, not the red leather, but it's this. This is a genuinely good deal. Anyway, as always, if you enjoy content like this, please give us a like, and why not subscribe? As not only can you see more content like this, of course you can see everything we have for sale, which today does include this lovely BMW 440i. Obviously, it's a bit spenny, but it's got pretty much every option you want. The only thing it's missing for me is the sunroof, but it's got everything else. Then of course there'll be links down in the description for this car, and if you're not interested in a BMW, you want an Audi or a Merc, there will be a generic link to the website as well. Anyway, my name has been Tom, and you have been watching Paragon Cars. I'll see you guys on the next one. Cheers.